Hello everyone, LEGO Mega 96.1 here with another review. Well, if you see the title and the thumbnail, you know that I'm going to be reviewing the new 2023 movie, Disney's Haunted Mansion, which has been out for quite a while now. Now, a little heads up, this review may contain spoilers for those who haven't seen the movie. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't wish to be spoiled by it, I suggest you click away from this video right now and go watch the movie. You may do so now. For those who have seen it already, let me explain. Here's my review of the 2023 film, Disney's Haunted Mansion. To be fair, I love this movie. I mean, it was one of the best films Disney has made so far. I mean, if you saw my reaction when I was ecstatic, like on the edge of my seat, and me doing the famed double overhead shaka, the same way Christopher Herman did in Chicago Fire, it was spectacular. I love the movie, and as a Haunted Mansion fan, it's one of the best. Now, what are my thoughts on it? Now, as I said, I love it. I love the action sequences. I love the effects. Like then every Easter egg a reference to the mansion itself. Now, Easter eggs, as I said, they were references to other forms of media. Like, for example, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, there was this scene where these pirates are trying to get the key from the dog, who has the key in its mouth. Now, that was a reference to a scene we saw in the ride where we see the pirates asking the dog for the key, giving him a nice juicy bone. That's it. Now, the mansion itself, Gracie Mansion, that looks spectacular. It's like they pulled the mansion from Anaheim and plussed it big time. Oh, plus is a Disney thing, in which they say all the time when they're working on a cartoon or a movie or game or story, whatever, is a process that Walt Disney called plussing. And also, the name of the Hatbox Ghost is Alistair Crump. Now, that is a really cool name. Now, if I had to guess, the last name for Crump, that has to be in relation to Rolly Crump, the same guy who helped work on the mansion and also introduced a segment called the Museum of the Weird. And we seen it when Disneyland was celebrating its 10th anniversary. He introduced us some of the weirdest things that we were going to see in this museum, like a coffin clock, a candle wax man, and some of the strangest things these guys caught up. Or thought up, I should say. And also, Crump Manor, that's the Orlando mansion. The moment I saw a second teaser trailer, I was like, yo, that's the Orlando mansion. Dude, a lot of references were made to that ride. Hey, if they do a Phantom Manor attraction, they should reference that ride in detail. I mean, that by far that would be spectacular. And the guy who directed the Mansion movie, Jason Simmons, you're awesome, bud. You have made one of the best movies Disney has made. The best. Now, the cast was good, too. I mean, having Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson in the Disney movie, that's spectacular, too. And Owen Wilson was in it. Danny DeVito. Now, if you watch any of the Disney movies, he's Owen Wilson. You may remember him as Lightning McQueen in the Cars franchise. And Phil, Danny DeVito, Phil Atikis from Hercules, that's him. And also, Jamie Lee Curtis as Madame Leota, that is spectacular. I mean, her being trapped inside a crystal ball, that is spectacular right there. And having, and of course, the Hatbox Ghost in particular, the design of him and even the voice of him is just awesome. I mean, you should have seen the looks of that guy. That by far is pretty much one of the most coolest designs of the Hatbox Ghost ever. Oh, and I will be giving you my thoughts on the Hatbox Ghost coming to the Orlando mansion in the position where he will be later on in the review before I close off. So, be warned. Now, what do I think of the movie? Now, what's the story behind it? Well, the story goes that Rosario Dawson's character, her named Gabby, and her son moved to the famous mansion where they discovered that it's haunted. And the guy who owned it, William Gracie, which is actually a reference to a guy in a book many years ago, who actually owned the mansion and tried to contact his deceased wife, but to no avail. And the more he does try to contact his wife, the more he allowed more ghosts to come into the mansion. Don't mess with the paranormal, kids. You could open up doorways to the demons. You could. I haven't done any Ouija boards. I haven't done any summonings or anything. And I do not want to mess with the unknown. Never. But with that aside, the main character, Ben Mathias, apparently he's gone through a lot. He actually has someone he lost so near and dear to him, named Elisa, who died in a car accident years ago, and gives ghost tours around the city of New Orleans. I couldn't help but feel sorry for this guy. I mean, he has lost the one person he has loved in his life. I mean, we all lost someone in our lives, and to everyone, it's pretty much an unspeakable pain. I mean, like, to me in particular, like, a couple of years ago, I lost one of my cats, Phantom. We had to put him down. And my father, he awarded me for taking good care of him. And after he gave me that gift, I actually shed tears after that. I mean, it was a long time since I've shed tears. I mean, we all know, losing someone isn't a good thing. I mean, there are times where you gotta learn to grin and bear it, you know? But all that personal stuff aside, what am I... A lot of references. Onto the references to the mansion then. And onto the movie. Now, they did a lot of references. When Gabby and the others were trapped in the famous portrait gallery, you know, the famous stretching room. Now, that was in direct reference to the Anaheim mansion, because during the development of the Haunted Mansion in Anaheim, the elevator was supposed to go straight down to the basement floor, or because the railroad was pretty much right behind the show building. But the one in Orlando, it's different. It doesn't go all the way down. It just slowly stretches to the load area. But back to the Anaheim one, it goes all the way down and then to the other queue, into the load area. Now that in particular, that's pretty awesome. And also there were a lot of portraits from the mansion too, like April through December was in it. There's also Hatchet Man, there's also the Duelists. They also did the ballroom scene. I mean, that in particular, that is spectacular. I mean, I want to know how they pull all of those ghost effects. It's for all the ghosts in the mansion. Now, that in particular, that's awesome. I want to know how they able to pull that off. Now, also the action sequence is very good. I mean, when Alistair Crumb was trying to offer Ben a place in the graveyard for him to be reunited with his girlfriend Elisa, he learns to overcome his pain and actually defeats the Hatbox Ghost with help from Leota, Ben, and Owen Wilson, Gabby, and everyone involved. And even Gabby's son has been through a lot. He hasn't got a father. And Ben in particular, he became a father figure to him. And that, by far, that was pretty touching. Him getting Gabby's son to overcome his grief and to help rid the mansion of the Hatbox Ghost. Now, also, Grim Grinning Ghost, which is my all-time favorite song from the Haunted Mansion and all Disney Park in particular, it was heard throughout the entire movie. And that in particular, that's cool. And also the ending credits where we see a jazzy rendition of Grim Grinning Ghost where everyone was having a good time, that's my favorite. Now, if I had to guess in particular, that jazzy rendition, it's in direct reference to Phantom Manor, because after we encounter the Phantom in Disneyland Paris, we enter an open grave where we see skeletons rising from their coffins to go to Phantom Canyon. We hear a jazzy rendition of Grim Grinning Ghost, and that by far, that's awesome. But the movie aside, when I heard that Hatbox Ghost was coming to the Orlando Mansion, I was ecstatic. But my main concern is where he was going to be in the Orlando Mansion. Now, according to the rumors, they're going to put him in the endless hallway scene, which is kind of odd, considering the fact that he would appear in the hallways, scene, which is kind of odd. Now, as we all know, he would appear in the attic sequence, in the attic. Now, if you listen to Story and Song from the Haunted Mansion, the Hatbox Ghost, whose head would appear and disappear in the Hatbox with each beat of the attic bride's heart. Now, the Hatbox Ghost was there on opening day in 1969, but after a few weeks, the effect doesn't seem to work, so they took the guy out and he was never seen again. But it wasn't until 2015 that the guy was brought back, and the effect on him, it worked. And the guy that brought him back, sir, you have done a spectacular job. You, sir, earned a plus and a couple of brownie points in my book. But if you were going to put the Hatbox Ghost in the Orlando Mansion, if I was an Imagineer, I would put like a projection of the Hatbox Ghost's shadow in the endless hallway scene where we see him walking around, cackling, before we're disappearing. Like, go from one side of the hall to the other before disappearing. And I would also put him in the same attic as the bride. Like, to match the attic sequence, to match the Anaheim scene. But that's me. I'm not an Imagineer. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I mean, I'm not ranting about it. I'm just giving you my thoughts. That's all I was doing. But all that aside, I do love the movie, and I highly recommend you go out and see the movie. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's it for this review, my friends. And if you enjoyed this review and you want to see more videos I have done on my channel, and if you want to see more videos, please feel free to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell notifications so that way you can be notified if I upload the next video. And as always, this is LEGO Mega 96-1, signing off.